Live from Innovation Park on the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Tuesday, March 9th. Tonight, we'll tell you all you need to know about the new casino set to replace the Macy's at the Nittany Mall, as well as Penn State's message of support for individuals of Asian descent.
We also have an update on the new COVID relief bill, along with entertainment, sports, and weather.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Madison Miller.
And I'm Anjelica Singer.
A $120 million mini casino is set to replace the former Macy's at the Nittany Mall. The casino is expected to have 750 slot machines and 30 game tables. This week, College Township officials received a local impact report that is required for construction of a Category 4 casino. The report included the impact on local traffic, water, sewage infrastructure, along with the impact on emergency services and tourism. College Township Manager Adam Brumball commented on the pending approval of the casino, quote, "Should this process continue forward and the approvals are received, it represents a good opportunity for the Nittany Mall and surrounding area to redevelop as many State College residents have hoped," end quote.
Penn State is making an effort to promote racial equality after sharing a message in support of the university's Asian community on Thursday. With University Park's campus having around 3,000 students of Asian descent, Vice Provost for Educational Equity Marcus Whitehurst and Vice Provost for Global Programs Roger Brinley wrote a letter to show their support as students of Asian ancestry are facing discrimination. The message reassured fellow Penn Staters that violence and discrimination against any ethnic group is appalling and unacceptable. The letter referenced President Eric Barron's previous statement stating, quote, "You are welcome here. Your presence enriches our university and the educational experience of all of our students," end quote. The letter also mirrored a statement from the Governor's Advisory Commission on Asian Pacific American Affairs last month. Students are encouraged to report racial bias or violence to Report Bias on Penn State's Educational Equity website. Those who are victim to an active bias are encouraged to call campus police or 911 if assistance is needed.
It has been a full year since the first reported cases of COVID-19 in Pennsylvania. This Saturday, the Department of Health reported 2,789 new cases. Governor Tom Wolf stated in a press conference, quote, "It's been a hard year, one full of unimaginable loss and broken dreams. We lost far too many friends and loved ones, but I'm so proud of how the Pennsylvanians have worked together to get through this unthinkable time," end quote. Vaccination efforts in Center County have reached an all-time high as dozens of locations are now open for service.
It's been a little over 1 year since the first COVID-19 cases were reported in the Commonwealth on March 6th. Since then, Pennsylvania has had 946,985 cases and 24,317 deaths. Governor Tom Wolf addressed this anniversary in a video. He said the state, quote, "is headed toward a brighter future." Wolf also acknowledged the loss so many Pennsylvanians have faced and that he is proud of those in the state, how they work together. March 20th will be 1 year since Center County had its first positive case. The county has had a total of 13,135 cases and 213 deaths since then, according to Saturday's most recent numbers. Wolf said 2.8 million vaccines have been administered across the state. So far, Center County residents have received 28,506 first doses and 14,932 second doses. Penn State has canceled spring break for the spring 2021 semester. Field reporter Izzy Hayes spoke to some members of the Penn State community on what they think.
It's been almost 1 year since Penn State students were sent home for what was supposed to be 2 weeks, which eventually turned into the remainder of the year. Due to the continuation of the pandemic, Penn State academic calendar looks slightly different this year without a spring break. However, students and faculty could understand why.
I think, given the reality of what we're dealing with, I think ultimately the choice was made to essentially just restrict movement to the extent possible. I tend to think that the 3 wellness days themselves are maybe not enough of a break. I think depending on how different faculty members implement those breaks, I think it can be more or less useful, right?
Safety, I can kind of see where the university is coming from on that. At the same time, I do not think wellness days really make up for the time. They're definitely helpful. But yeah, I do not think they are, as much as spring break is.
Although there is no annual spring break, students have been and will continue to take advantage of wellness days. For PSN News, I'm Izzy Hayes.
Coming up next, Kaylin Green will bring you the latest in entertainment after this week's weather report.
From the students of Penn State Meteorology, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good evening. I'm student meteorologist Anjelica here with your PSN weather update. If we take a look at our weather headlines here across central Pennsylvania, we'll be seeing a very pleasant stretch of weather lasting well into the day Thursday. During this time period, expect above normal temperatures, certainly well above the average for this time of year. Do look towards the soggy end to the work week, however, as we'll be seeing some shower activity likely across much of the region for the day Friday. So if we take a look at our future weather here, Thursday at 1:30 a.m., those clouds will be making their way across the state of Pennsylvania from west to east. Not much in terms of shower activity, but as we make our way into the day Thursday, you can see those showers mainly to the west of State College, Erie, Pittsburgh. You'll be looking into the rainfall during the day on Thursday. Now if we make our way into Thursday evening, into Friday morning, those showers will look to be much more widespread across the state, with many places picking up at least a trace of rainfall during this period. This storm system will look to make its way out of our area for the day Saturday, making for a very pleasant day. So in terms of rainfall, not seeing much here in the State College area and points east, maybe up to 1/10 of an inch from this event, but places to our north and west will certainly be on the brisk of upwards around 1/4 of an inch of rainfall. Erie, Franklin, Bradford, Pittsburgh could certainly see around that amount of rainfall from this event. If we take a look at our future weather here into next week, however, we'll be tracking multiple storm systems making their way to the Commonwealth. This depiction here of Monday at 9:30 shows a mix of rain, snow, and mix across the state. So we'll certainly have all eyes on this as we move into this weekend. We'll be tracking this for further update. We'll also see another storm system possible into next Wednesday, Thursday, so we'll be keeping an eye on that as well. But let's focus on tonight in this nice stretch of weather ahead of us. So clearing tonight, later these clouds will look to make their way out of the area. A low of 37, that wind will be light out of the south from only 0 to 5 miles per hour, but then that wind will pick up a little bit during the day tomorrow. It will still be out of the south from 5 to 10 miles per hour, but 63 degrees, sunny skies, and mild will make it for a great day to get outside and enjoy spring here in the State College area. So if we take a look at our 7-day forecast here now, Wednesday, Thursday above 60, most likely in the State College area. That mix of sun and clouds on Thursday will lead to some possible rain showers, but the majority of the rain will hold off until Friday morning here in State College. Still mild, 58 on Friday. Saturday we do cool down a little bit, back into the 40s for Saturday and Sunday. And then we're watching that next storm system on Monday and into Tuesday and Wednesday. So we'll be tracking those storm systems come next week. But enjoy the nice weather while it lasts. From the Penn State Campus Weather Service, I'm Anjelica for PSN.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Kaylin Green with your entertainment update. If anyone loves classical music, the Calidor String Quartet might be the perfect virtual concert for you. Hosted by the Center of Performing Arts here in State College, the quartet will be performing for free starting at 7:30 p.m. this Wednesday. Making up the quartet is violinists Jeffrey Myers and Ryan Meehan, violist Jeremy Berry, and cellist Estelle Choi. After being founded back in 2010, the group went on to win multiple awards and U.S. chamber competitions and has now been praised for their work just 2 years after debuting. The performance will be available to stream through March 17th. In the spirit of Women's History Month, the PRCC, or Paul Robeson Cultural Center, will be holding a Women of Color Empowerment Symposium on March 13th. The symposium was designed to be a day of relationship building and also as a way to talk about issues facing women of color. The event will be held from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. in the Alumni Hall and is funded by the Student Initiated Fee. For more information or to sign up, check out their Instagram at PSUPRCC. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, announced they're expecting a baby girl. The news came in early Monday morning following the couple's 2-hour interview with Oprah Winfrey. This will be the second child for the couple following the birth of their 1-year-old son, Archie. Prince Harry stated during the interview, quote, "To have any child, any one or any two would have been amazing, but to have a boy and a girl, what more could you ask for?" The baby girl is expected to be due in the summer, and we wish all the best for the happy couple. That was your entertainment update. Stay tuned because after the break, Mike Marandino will bring you the latest from the world of sports.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Mike Marandino with your sports update. Penn State football has added a second quarterback to its 2022 recruiting class. 4-star signal caller Drew Alar announced his commitment to head coach James Franklin and the Nittany Lions Monday with a tweet from his personal Twitter account. He joins fellow 4-star recruit Bo Prabula as quarterbacks committed to Penn State in the class. Alar threw for 2,962 yards and 26 touchdowns this season as a high school junior and led his team to the Division I regional finals. According to the 24/7 Sports Composite Player Rankings, he's rated as a number 10 pro-style quarterback in the country. Penn State Spa hosted John Urschel, offensive lineman and guard for the Baltimore Ravens last month. The former NFL player spoke about his decision to switch careers and became a mathematician. Destiny Sanchez has the story.
The former Penn State football guard and offensive lineman spoke to Penn State students about how his life has led him to becoming a mathematician.
I really came to know mathematical research at Penn State. The feeling that this gave me was also as thrilling and unmatchable, obviously for different reasons, but I sort of craved that mathematical challenge. And there was a rigor to it. There was something beautiful about having to understand everything about a problem.
He began his college career with playing football, but a new passion emerged as he started taking math classes at Penn State. After his days at Penn State, he then went to play for the Baltimore Ravens. He decided to retire from the NFL in his prime to continue studying mathematics at MIT. The host of the event, junior broadcast journalism student Preston Shoemaker, describes his experience interviewing Urschel.
The event was a really unique opportunity, I felt like, for the students to be able to talk with somebody like John Urschel. John's got such a unique story, I think, and it's really cool to see where he's been able to go after his football career, what he was able to accomplish as a student. And to have that opportunity to hear him talk about his story, about how his mother inspired him and where he kind of found his roots was really, really cool, I thought.
I felt like something really came alive in me that I didn't even know I really even cared so much about. I found this passion and this path that I didn't even know was possible.
Urschel is a great role model for math students as well as athletes at Penn State and beyond. I'm Destiny Sanchez from Penn State Network News.
Although Penn State didn't walk away from this year's Big Ten wrestling tournament as conference champions, the program finished as the runner-ups and saw 2 wrestlers earn Big Ten titles. The Nittany Lions scored 124 team points, earning them a second-place finish 35.5 points behind the champion Iowa Hawkeyes. The Blue and White had 4 wrestlers competing in title bouts at their individual weight classes. Wrestlers Roman Bravo Young and Aaron Brooks both earned Big Ten titles by the conclusion of the tournament. Aside from the Big Ten tournament, Cale Sanderson and his staff will officially have 9 wrestlers on their roster qualify for the much-anticipated NCAA tournament. This year's NBA All-Star coverage gave fans nothing but excitement and entertainment. LeBron James is now undefeated as an All-Star Game team captain after winning his 4th straight game with Team LeBron against Team Durant with a final score of 170-150. Giannis Antetokounmpo is named the Kobe Bryant All-Star Game MVP, finishing with 35 points on 16-16 field goal shooting, which also set an all-star record for most made shots without a miss. Domantas Sabonis was a skills challenge champion, and Steph Curry won the three-point contest as well. And Fernie Simons won the dunk contest after edging out rookie Knicks forward Obi Toppin and rookie Pacer guard Cassius Stanley. That was your sports update. This week, our interview anchor Samantha Menuza spoke with Dr. Sam Richards, Penn State's Sociology 119 professor, about how his class changed since the pandemic hit. Take a look.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Samantha Manuza. Today I'm talking with Dr. Sam Richards. How are you doing today?
Well, I'm holding it down, right? We have some warm weather coming in the next couple of days, and that's brightening my spirits. But yeah, it's been a tough year. It's been a tough 12 months.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
For those who don't know, your course Sociology 119 is the largest race and ethnic relations course in the country. How would you describe Soc 119 in a few words?
Wow, I guess it's a place where we get to challenge one another's viewpoints about a lot of issues connected to race and culture, ethnicity, and global events.
So what is the connection between Soc 119 and World in Conversation?
World in Conversation grew out of Soc 119 about 20 years ago. We have been using students enrolled in Soc 119 to be facilitators of dialogues and conversations. The very first semester I taught the course, people would gather after class and they would just want to talk about the issues. So maybe there would be 5 people, sometimes there would be 10 or 15, and they'd all be sitting around the front of the room talking and arguing and discussing.
The discussion groups were basically just created out of curiosity from the students?
Yep, it's just really, they needed to talk and I didn't have enough time. So I created the space.
What do these facilitators do? What is their role in the group when they're in the room in the conversation?
You know, one of the ways you could think about it is they kind of operate as traffic cops, right? You know, stop this group and bring this one forward, and then stop that one and bring that one forward. You know, you see it all the time, right? Well, in a way, that's how you want a conversation to go, right? So facilitators are trained to keep the conversation moving and trained to ask questions that allow for the greatest opportunity for everybody to participate.
So for a class that's so focused and centered around these discussion groups, what changes have you had to make since the pandemic hit? And how do you think that if these changes will affect the class experience?
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, we've been lucky. About 10 years ago, we started doing video conferencing with students and we started in the Middle East. And so we began to put our students into dialogue, into conversation with students in other countries. And so we actually got pretty good at using video conferencing technologies.
Preparing to be on Zoom University for a while now without
I know. Yeah, exactly. Over the past year, you've gotten more comfortable with Zoom. You know how to do it. You know how to set your camera up, how to set your lighting up. All of that stuff that you need to know, and certainly as a comm person, right? And you start to get good at it. And so we were already way ahead of the game. So, you know, we missed last spring break, after the pandemic hit, Monday of spring break, we canceled all of our groups for Monday of spring break. And we have, generally speaking, about 20 to 25 groups a day at World in Conversation. We canceled them all on Monday. Tuesday morning, we were full speed. We didn't miss a single group the rest of the semester. So we were able to really keep going.
What has been the most challenging part about cyber school during the pandemic? And further, what do you think has been the most challenging part for you as a professor adapting?
It's actually, many aspects of it are better for us. We're able to bring students into our training practices from all over the world. It's so many ways more dynamic. It's pretty cool.
So you'd say you were able to open up the class more because of...
And there's so many different things that we've been able to do that actually we just never had a reason to try them out. For example, you know, we do conversations with a lot of students in the Middle East, in Iraq, and Afghanistan, and different countries. And Penn State students have to wake up and be in Pond Lab sometimes at 6:30 in the morning to do a dialogue. Nobody likes to do that, you know. So all that kind of stuff will be online. A lot of our training will, and so on. For me, as an instructor, you know, the Social 119 class it's a place where people gather. People come down to the front of the room and they talk and we act things out. I mean, you know, you've been in the space. That's really difficult to do 100% online without writers. You know, like I don't have a writer. It's just me. And we put together a new class twice a week. And so I have to simulate that online in these little boxes, you know, on screen. And so it takes a lot more thought for how to make what we call in social netting case study, an activity. Like it takes a lot more thought or planning to put it together.
I feel like it's a little hard to get people to participate in the online setting as opposed to how they would participate when you were in class or in person.
Yeah, well, yes, because what it requires is, first off, I don't know who exactly we're going to want to participate. Maybe we say we're going to do something on identity and adoption. So what we'd like to have are 3 students who have been adopted. But like I got to find them. Like, how do I find them? You can't send students emails. They don't respond. It just becomes this thing. But in the classroom, I can just say, hey, here's what we're going to talk about. And do we have some volunteers who would like to come up and be part of it? And then we can make things happen right there in the moment.
So you mentioned before that you said you're going to carry over some of the practices that you kind of had to implement in the last year. Given the expectation that the university will be going back to in-person classes in the fall, are there any changes that you made to the virtual worlds that you're bringing forward, and can you name them?
For us in 119, we always have people watching on screen. We'll have between 80 and a couple hundred people watching the live stream who are not enrolled in the class. But I think increasingly going forward, I'll actually offer the course to people who want to do it completely online, like it is right now. So not everybody who's taking the class will be sitting in the classroom.
What do you think you learned about yourself as a professor or the university in the last year or the university?
I have this very kind of public persona that is very social and very amicable and very outgoing. But in my private life, I'm actually kind of quiet.
Might kind of unlocked your extroverted side a little bit.
Yeah.
Or it's in the house.
Yeah, or it showed me that that side is really important to massage, to let come out.
Absolutely. Was there anything that you learned about the university in the last year that maybe was new to you?
Wow, I've been really impressed at the leadership and of the people who've been in charge of these things and how quickly people adapted and how well, and how well students are doing. Like I'm pretty impressed actually. I mean, I know, you're a student. I know there's this pandemic stress that goes along with being a student now, but
yes, there is.
But it's really remarkable, actually, how well you all have adapted.
Thank you. I'd say, if I could speak for everybody, we are trying.
Yeah, we all are.
This was a wonderful conversation. I'm so glad I got the chance to talk with you today.
It's been very nice talking. Yeah, I think these are valuable and interesting issues.
Absolutely, I agree. All right, that's all, Nittany Lions. Have a great rest of your night. I'm Samantha Menuza.
The Senate has passed a $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill this Saturday, following 1 year after the first reported cases in the United States. This bill is aimed at providing support for lower-income Americans, small businesses, tourism industries, as well as state and local governments. The bill will also aid in vaccine manufacturing and distribution. That will create an estimated 6 million jobs. The White House says that President Biden supports this bill following the involvement in the coronavirus relief. The House of Representatives will vote on the Senate-passed version of the bill this Tuesday. Hopefully, this bill will provide relief for the millions of Americans that have been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic.
The national number of average COVID cases has had a steady decline as of March 2nd. According to the CDC, over the past week, there was current 7-day average of 62,555 cases. That number seems to be much more hopeful compared to the highest 7-day average of 249,360 on January 11th. This current average is still much higher than the first peak of the pandemic during last April, when there was 42,597 cases. More people are getting vaccinated too. As of March 4th, about 54 million people received the first dose and 27.8 million have received the second dose. Last week, there was a 36% increase of vaccines administered compared to the week before.
Several states, including Texas, Mississippi, Alabama, and West Virginia, have loosened their COVID-19 pandemic restrictions, including ending their statewide mask mandate. This has come to a shock to many, as the COVID-19 cases in the United States have reached a total of 29 million since last March, resulting in 524,000 deaths. Other states are following in suit, as Arizona is ending indoor capacity restrictions. States like Iowa, South Carolina, and Florida end their state mask mandate orders earlier in the year.
Calls for Governor Andrew Cuomo's resignation has been prompted after 5 women have come forth with accusations of sexual harassment. Former aides Charlotte Bennett and Lindsay Boylan were the first 2 women to come forward. Cuomo responded by stating that he respected Bennett's right to speak out, and he denied both allegations. The 3rd woman was never Cuomo's employee, but she recounted an unwanted advance from Cuomo at a wedding. 2 more former aides accused Cuomo of inappropriate behavior on Saturday, 3 days after Cuomo's apology. The governor initially noted the allegations as, quote, playful jokes, but he then said he was embarrassed by his actions and apologized in his first public statement. Cuomo is resisting the calls to resign, as he said they are anti-democratic and motivated by differences in politics. Yet the demands for his resignation seem to be bipartisan. The state attorney general was asked to appoint someone for an outside investigation.
And that's all for tonight on PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.